welcome to Growing Craft. I hope you all are doing good and welcome back to a new tutorial. So today we are going to learn a beautiful pop-up and a flap making with the shaker card, and this video is going to be really interesting. To start with, here I have my cardstock. The size of this cardstock is 12 inches by 4 inches and I am going to score this at the center. I just wanted to make sure that I score it really well, and once you score it at a 6 inch you need to fold it in half, and that's our base. So after your scoring work, please do make sure that you burnish it really well. It should fold in a proper half, and we are going to make 2 cards of this type. But here, before moving that to one, I have this cardstock of 7 inches by 4 inches, making 3 score lines, and the score lines are at half inches, 3.5 inches and 6.5 inches. Once you are done with your scoring line, you have to burnish all the 3 lines what we have done. Now this is the element for our pop-up inside the card what we had scored at the starting of this video. Now if you want to enjoy the walkthrough of the scrapbook or the album, do check it till the end, and because I have added a walkthrough of this album at the end of the video. So once I'm done with my burnish work, it's time to move on to the quick triangle corner what we are going to do. Now here adding a marking of 1.5 inches from both the corners, and this is just on the one side of the card. If you don't want it, you can absolutely remove it, you can just chuck this part, but here I'm adding a mark of 1.5 inches and then scoring it just to make sure that I have a beautiful triangle corner out there. Now this scrapbook is totally inspired by Niharika's scrapbook, which I absolutely loved, and I have named this album as a jungle theme where I'm going to add a lot of elements. Now for adding the pop-up card, here I'm using my liquid glue. You can even use your tacky tapes, but I think liquid glue gives you a little more extra time to make sure that if you want to shift your paper here and there, you have time to do that. So make sure that you put it in the center of your card, and once you are convinced that it has been put at the center, press it really well, and then you can move on to the next part. Now for the next part also, I'm going to use my liquid glue and I'm going to fold it again and press it really well. Now don't miss out anything on this step, because pressing this and sticking this at a correct position is really important. So with this, my beautiful pop-up is ready and this looks already so gorgeous. Now in this scrapbook layout, I wanted to add some locking system, and here I thought of using my magnets, but to put up the magnets and to make a locking system, I thought of adding my die cut. So here is a die cut. It's a teeny mini die cut, and I'm going to score of a 1/2 inch at the center. Why 1/2 inch? Because once you have your pictures or your journaling tags inside it, the paper tends to have a lot of thickness. And just to make sure that we have enough space for adding a lot of pictures and journaling for the scrapbook layout or the page, or even for your pop-up cards, having a little extra depth is always good. So once I'm done with this, I am going to burnish it really well, and I'm just going to cut the sharp corners because I didn't want it to have it in the mid of my page. So once I'm done with this, it's time to stick it to my album. Again, I'm telling you, if you want to have your liquid adhesive or your tacky tapes, it's absolutely fine. You can choose any of them, but before sticking, you need to know where exactly you want to have it on your page. So here I'm using my liquid glue because again, it gives me a little more time to play around with my die cut. If you don't have any of your die cuts, you can always use the plain cardstock. Just make sure that you have the margin of 1/4 inch in the space for your some more extra journaling and your pictures. Now once this is done, I am going to repeat this process, and I have already made one more page with the same process, and we are going to have both of these on my single page. Now on the corner, I just wanted to highlight with an extra color. So here I'm adding my piece of pattern paper. Now my scrapbook is in jungle theme, so it's going to have a lot of pastel shades of yellow, green, blues, sea blue, but I'm also adding a lot of pink shades to it, the tinge and shades of pink here. So this beautiful cutout has a foil on it, the foil pattern paper. So I'm just adding the glue at one of the corners which is not going to be visible, and this sticks perfectly to my base. Now I know these steps are like a little tricky when you see it, but when you start doing it, trust me, it's one of the gorgeous way to create making cards. So this already looks super cute now, and I'm going to repeat the process with the other one too. Now to add a locking to it, here I'm using my magnet, and these are the quite teeny mini magnets, and whatever the supplies I'm using, I have listed down their links in the description box. You guys can check that. So here I'm using my tacky tape to stick the magnets. What you need to do is put your magnet at one side of the card and add your tacky tape or your liquid glue. I prefer tacky tape here because it makes your work much more easier. Then put on another magnet and add a glue drop to it and just fold it, and you will see the mark where exactly you have to put your another magnet. And now you can take up your tacky tape or your glue and stick it really well. This is one of the easiest way of adding magnets to your scrapbook layouts or your journals or your photo albums, or even for your cards. They look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to repeat the same process for both the cards. Now here I have already chosen some of the pattern papers which I wanted to have in my pop-up. So the center part I'm keeping it a little simple with a very tint shades of my colors, and on the borders I'm going to add my pattern papers. You can choose the pattern paper according to your theme and your design in which you are making your scrapbook. So adding few more pattern papers, and I'm using this for my locking system. So wherever you have put your magnets, of course we need to cover it. So here I have taken up the same die cut, but I have did this in a pattern paper, and I'm going to use this, peel off my tacky tape and stick this one. You can even use your liquid glues. This way your magnets are hidden, and even your latch, the lock system what we have made, looks absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. You can always use the contrast color, like here I've picked up a gray color pattern paper, and this looks really cute, little contrast, and it highlights your magnet and your locking system. Just making sure that I have the perfect size of it before sticking it, and once I'm happy, I'm going to stick this one. Now whatever we did this with our first pocket and the flap making, we are going to repeat the process for the other one too. So both my flaps and pockets are done, and this looks really cute and popped up one. And now it's time to move on to the next one. So here we are going to create a beautiful shaker card. So for this I have taken up a cardstock of 3 inches by 4 inches and adding a pattern paper to it. Now I did not wanted my base to have a plain surface, so adding a beautiful pattern paper, you need to use your tacky glue or tacky tape or your liquid glue, whichever you're comfortable with. Now here we of course want to have a beautiful shaker element, so I have already taken up my pattern paper, a contrast one, and I have cut it from the center with just a 1/2 inch margin from all the 4 sides, and this looks like a cute little frame. And here on the top of it I'm going to use my liquid glue to stick it. But before sticking it, you have to make sure that you have your acetate sheet. Acetate sheet is nothing but the thick plastic sheets which you get at any of your local store, or you can order it from Amazon, and they are like so fab to use to create beautiful shaker cards. They look extremely gorgeous. It's just that because they tend to have a lot of marks very quickly, you just need to make sure that you clean it really well before starting your work. So I'm sticking this with my liquid glue just so that it gives me a little buffer time to shift my sheet here and there, so that if there is any issue with the measurements, I can just shift it here and there. So adding my 3D foam tape, you can use any of your foam tapes. You can even use your thick cardboard pieces just to create the borders around it. I was a little not sure how my liquid glue is going to take it really well, and I just wanted to add a little more extra strength. So here I'm using my tacky tape at the corners, and I'm going to stick this only on the corners so that my foam tape, it sticks well. So removing my tacky tape peel, and I am going to use my foam tape on all the 4 sides of the corner. Now removing the peels of my 3D foam tape, and here I am going to use a lot of my different shaker elements. These look super cute, super fun, and I love this part of making the shaker cards. So here adding some mix and match of my sequences, my beautiful shaker elements, and then here you just need to make sure that it doesn't bump up too much. Just spread it really well in your base so that when you stick it to your card, it's easy. So this is one of the funnest element in your card making or your scrapbooking or even for your journals, and I absolutely love that. You can add glitter to it, add your sentiments to it, and they are good to use. Now here I'm adding my liquid glue, and I'm going to make sure that I don't put too much of glue, and then I'm going to stick my base on the top of it. And this looks super gorgeous, and you need to make sure that everything is sticked well, otherwise your sequences can literally flow out. So this is done. My shaker element looks super cute, and here I just wanted to clean my acetate sheet before moving on to the next step, and that is decorating my shaker card. So here I'm using a lot of my design fussy card, and I have already planned how am I going to do it. And once I'm happy with the alignment and the arrangement of it, I'm going to stick it with my liquid glue. You can always cut your fussy sheets elements here and there wherever you want to stick it, and once you're happy with it, just arrange it really well and then start sticking it. There have been times when I did my card making work, but I was not sure and I started sticking it, and then it was very difficult to change. Now here is a trick: whenever you're doing this layering work with your fussy cut work, you have to make sure that you don't stick everything together. Just add a dot of glue here and there and then start sticking it, so that even if you have to shift or add something, insert inside it, you can do it. Now with these cute little fussy card of my jungle theme, my cute little shaker card is ready, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now it's time to add my elements to it. So you remember the 3D work we had done, and I wanted to have cute contrast or shape to it. So I'm circle punching my beautiful teddy here, and I am just going to stick it as it is on my page. Now these are the sheets available on our website at growingcraft.com. Isn't it cute? I absolutely loved it. I adored it. And now here I'm going to stick these on my page inside. So I did not want to have too much of element, because once you open and close the books, they tend to get damaged. And just to make sure that they are safe, I'm going to stick these on my corners. And with these, I'm also going to add some more elements and stick it here and there. And I'm going to make sure that I have space to add my tags to it in future, or if you just want to insert your pictures out there. Once the layout is done, here I'm going to assemble everything. So I have taken up my base, and on this I'm going to have this beautiful pattern paper, and I'm going to use my liquid glue around the corners, and I'm going to stick it really well. You can use your tacky tape if you want to, but for the pages I think my liquid glue works really well for me. Like I said, the theme of my project is in jungle theme for a baby girl. So I'm using a lot of pastel shades here with the greens, blues, pinks, and sea greens in yellow color. You can choose the colors according to the theme what you are making. Now here I'm going to add my tacky tape to it, and I'm going to stick this really well on my page. We will be adding our shaker card here, but here is a trick. I did not wanted to have the plain one, and with the Niharika scrapbook I saw that there were some beautiful elements out there and I really loved it. So the idea is just to make sure that you have a beautiful pattern behind it. I added a pattern paper on the back side of my shaker card and adding a tacky tape. Now this is going to be also work as an extra element. Now here if you see the cover of my flaps, I have not done too much of work on the top of it because I really wanted to highlight my shaker card, and I'm just using my tacky tape to stick this, just marking that I have the center of my page so that it doesn't go off center anyway. And once I'm clear that where exactly I want to stick it, I am just putting my scale, just wanted to make sure that it is perfectly at the center and it is in a straight line. So once I'm happy with it, I'm sticking it right away on my page. So I'm just sticking it on the bottom of the flap, so that when I open it, it opens separately. You don't have both the flaps opening together. So now on the inner side, I can already see my beautiful pattern paper, and I just thought of adding a cute sentiment to it. So here is another of my special sentiment which I had hand cut, and I'm going to stick this with the hand of my glue. So with this beautiful layout is done. This is the page number 2. Do stay tuned to our channel to see all the remaining pages and watch the walkthrough of this complete scrapbook at the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Take care and bye-bye.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. J'ai presque pu le goûter. deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre,